It's the Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show, what? The Frank Show, come on, the Frank Show. It's time for the show. Aloha headsets, Frankie Boy here, and we're back with another episode of Ask Frank, the weekly show where Frank answers your questions live on, well, not live, well, pre-recorded, well, semi-live, well, you guys know the deal. First up, Thor Lover, can I leave my PSVR setup plugged in? Thor, you can definitely leave it plugged in, but it's probably better to turn your actual headset off. Now, I like to unplug mine and make sure my wire is hung so it's not all awkward and dangly or stuck here and there all the time, and I think in the end that's going to give me a little bit more time with it, but you don't have to worry about any of that. You just leave it plugged in and do what you want. It's not going to hurt it, but you don't want to leave the power box on constantly. If you start to feel it get warm, overheated, running too long, turn that baby off, because people have had issues with it not running perfectly well when that is overheated. Bananarama says, Frankie, what's your PSN name? PSVR Frank Bananarama, but I might be getting close to that. Too many headset friends, but we'll figure something out. You can always follow me though on PSN whenever you guys want. I think we can get an unlimited number of followers on PSN, but I don't really know anything about that. Aithlin Crook says, hey, Frankie, are we going to get to meet Miss Frank? Well, we've met her a couple times ago in the past, and I promise you we're going to have her on again. Me and her do videos. She even has her own channel. I'll link that below if you guys want to check it out. We have 1 or 2 videos on there, nothing crazy, but we're going to do more in the future, and I'll get her in VR every now and again. I mean, come on. Nah. Something that makes two says he's trying to get headphones for his PlayStation VR. Any recommendations? Now, I definitely recommend the Mantis headphones, which I have. They are always on my PlayStation VR, so I don't really have to worry about taking them off, and it's just kind of simple, like, boom, it's on my head, headphones are there. Now, if the issue with them is the sound quality is not, like, next level fantastic, if you're looking for some really, really good headphones, the Sennheiser headphones, really any Sennheiser headphone, these white ones fit really well over my ears and fit really well with the headset on, and they provide amazing sound quality. And if you get the ones that are open ear, your ears can breathe, so don't really get overheated while you're playing VR. Always looking to open ear headphones with VR. I think it makes everything a little more breathable and more comfortable. If you're going high-end. If you're not going high-end, I mean, honestly, these Mantises at 50 bucks, I would say try those. And they have over-ear versions available now, too, which is pretty cool. Raging Juggernog says, hey, Frankie, have you spent enough time with Killing Floor? Juggernog, I do enjoy Killing Floor. I don't think the movement's perfect. I think it gets a little awkward, and I don't like that stamina thing, but I do love Killing Floor. It's a really cool game. It does work really well. It's great for co-op. If you guys have not tried it out, you like shooters, you like zombie shooters. I mean, the graphics are pretty nice. It's definitely a darker game, but it's pretty cool. Maxi Matt says, hey, Frank, is the Exorcist Legion VR any good? Maxi Matt, I really do like the game, and I think for the price, it's not that bad. I mean, you're getting $7 an episode. They're like 20 minutes or so each, but I mean, it's $7. It's not that much for a really cool atmosphere. It is super well built, and I mean, the world around you really feels realistic and puts you in a place, and the blinders are a little obnoxious, but besides that, it's a solid creepy title. It's very creepy. Sam Faz said, hey, Vive vs PlayStation VR. Now, this is probably the big question of the episode because we haven't really talked about it before. And why not? Let's talk about it a little before. Now, we've compared the Oculus Go and the PlayStation VR. PSVR wins if you're looking for higher end. We've compared the Rift and the PlayStation VR. The Rift is better than the PlayStation VR, but with all the exclusives and the price that the PlayStation VR is at, it's really hard to beat that. Now, with the Vive and the PlayStation VR, Vive is a little bit higher than the Rift unless you find it on sale or a better deal, but quality-wise, the Vive is honestly a lot easier to a certain degree to set up. You just pop 2 sensors in your corner of your room, plug them in, and the tracking is done. It just, rather than other headsets which use like cameras and things to see where you are, even the Rift uses certain cameras, those little boxes send out an ultralight field, infrared field, and then the sensors are built into the Vive, so it's kind of like the other way around, and it makes the tracking a whole lot better as long as the sensors are hitting you all the time. Now, visual-wise, the lenses are better on PlayStation VR, but graphical and fidelity-wise, it's gonna be better on the Vive. I mean, no doubt, you guys. You're working on a PC, you can pump out much higher quality. You can put way more money into a PC than you can put into a console that is already pre-built, so that goes without saying. Now, when it comes to the stores, you have access to Steam VR, VR. You could also do Revive and do the Oculus Store if you'd like to as well. So you have access to all the PC games. There are some fantastic PC games out there, but we have something comparable for the most part right now on PlayStation VR. That may be like a multiplayer shooter, which I promise we're getting more. There's tons in the pipeline. So Vive vs PlayStation VR in this generation, if you're not trying to spend a whole lot of money, I mean, PlayStation VR is a great console system unit. The Vive is definitely on the higher end. I mean, come on, but you gotta buy the PC. You gotta buy a whole lot more. I know that new graphics cards are coming out later this year, so the cards are gonna be a lot lower. It's gonna be, I mean, ask me a year from now. A year from now, it might even be at the level where you could buy into either, and it's pretty much near same cost. I mean, to a certain degree, same cost, and then it's gonna be a whole lot harder to stand up just for PlayStation VR if we don't have higher iterations by then, or more on the horizon. But as it stands right now, if you're not looking to spend a whole lot of money and you want a very good VR experience, not perfect, but very amazing, fantastic. I mean, you can convert anybody. They'll love VR. Yeah, PlayStation VR is a place to play, but if you really do want that next that like 1.5 experience, you want to go with the Vive or the Rift, because I mean, it's a higher quality right now. But like I said, I spend most of my time in Rec Room. It's available on PlayStation VR, so what is the point in really jumping in anything else other than playing around for like a day or two? I mean, come on. Matthew L. says, with the fixes and updates, is Arizona Sunshine worth the buy? And honestly, Matthew, when I played the DLC most recently and it had some updates, I really did like it. I think it's worth a buy. I think that they really did add a lot to it. They made it a lot easier to see enemies. The guns still kind of move around a little bit, and it's not perfect, but it's a whole lot more fun. There's a whole lot more to do, and they got more DLC on the way. Now, I don't think it's going to be free. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like $7, $8, maybe $10. But on the whole, playing with other people, hopping in there, shooting some zombies, using your aim controller is a heck of a lot of fun in Arizona Sunshine at this point, and you can probably get it at a pretty good deal. Quick Tips says, hey Frankie, how long does it take you to record and upload a video? Quick Tips, right now we're recording this video. Soon as I'm done recording this video, both of the card was going to come out of that camera, and the card is going to be put into this computer to get the audio. I'm going to take both of those, pop it into this computer right here, mix that all together, edit, splice the background, and upload that however long that takes. Sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes if I start making a song or having fun or dancing or doing one of those little things, you can tell that I'm just having a whole heck of a lot of fun doing, and we're looking at more like 4 or 5 hours. And if I spend the whole day on something, I can honestly spend like 8, 9 hours if it takes 1 or 2 days to edit, but I don't do that as often anymore. Maybe later in the future for really special events, but mostly, dude, I'm shooting this baby, editing and uploading within like a 6-hour span each evening. Big Daddy Chaos says, hey, Frank, if you had to choose Cool Painter or Sculptor, and I have seen this everywhere. Honestly, I got this question probably like 4 or 5 times in the comments, maybe even more than that. I've seen it all over messaging boards. I've seen it all over the place. Everybody is wondering which one, Sculpt VR or Cool Painter. Now, Cool Painter, you have a lot less control, but it is probably a simpler layout, and you can import images and export, and you can import songs and put them in there. But with Sculpt VR, you have a much more polished experience, and you can really build things. You know what I mean? You have a lot more control over what you're working with, taking pieces out, changing the colors, moving it around. And although you can't put images in, most of the time you can kind of like have an image ready, take your headset off, look for a sec. I mean, when you start modeling in Sculpt VR, you don't even need to have an image in you, because it just kind of like takes shape and form in front of you. So from kind of like a design perspective, I would have to say Sculpt VR. But if you're just looking for like a simple goof around painting app, I mean, Cool Painter's fun. You can put some songs in there. You can upload a picture of Shrek, and you can just paint to your heart's content. But quality-wise, Sculpt VR really is high quality, and they're supposed to have multiplayer coming in the near future. It's already available on PC. They just got to work with Sony and get it working right. So eventually, Sculpt VR, you're going to be able to hop in with your buddy, and you guys can build maybe a world or something cool together, which would be pretty awesome if I do say so myself. Cardani says, hey, Frankie, is Rec Room divided into regions? Not Cardani. I don't believe that Rec Room actually is divided into regions. I think anyone can play with anyone, because I've heard people speak in all different languages. I've heard people from all different accents, and I think that it all just kind of converges. Now, they have different instances of the same type of room. Now, you may not get into the exact same walking game match as somebody else, but you're in the same, I believe, server space. It's not different regions, but it's just a different instance, which is pretty cool. So you can basically play with anybody you want at any time. You can definitely, guys, play with me. Add me PSVR Frank with a period. I am on there. I accept every friend request. Rec Room is the shiz. One time 126 says, hey, Frankie, how do you keep keep your PlayStation VR card so straight. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier with that one question, but I do also have a system where I have it hung on my ceiling so I can just run the cord up above me, and it really feels cool because you don't have a cord running down your body, so you feel a lot more like wireless, even though you're not wireless. But if you have headphones, you have a wire, it does kind of nick you or bump you in the head, so which can kind of get awkward. So you have to have it rigged perfectly and have it nicely. You move around, make sure you have enough space. But honestly, ceiling is the way to go if you're looking for the most like comfortable experience of virtual reality. Just dingle dangle. My buddy Caleb, Reality Check VR, makes gear and made the ceiling mounts for me. If you guys want to check it out, provrgear.com. He has them on there. He ships all over the world now. Robert Fraser says, hey Frankie, why is your tie so big? Robert, why not? Actually, I special ordered that tie from England because I wanted like an old school tie. Those things have not been popular for a while. Also, I'm a very big Rodney Dangerfield fan, which most of you guys don't know because I've not shared it before. But I mean, I get no respect. Blow Flurry says, Frankie, why you got a team? Now, I get this comment from a lot of people when they watch my Rec Room videos. They're like, I hate people like you. They ruin it for everybody. And I was thinking it the other day, yeah, we are in the squad match. So you can't really complain to me. But then I really kind of thought about it a little more. We have like almost a gang mentality. Like, I've hopped in there with like a crew of 7 people. And even if you have a squad of like 2 or 3, you can't handle this big squad of like 7 people. Once or twice, I've had people take out like half of us, which is pretty awesome. But at the end of the day, like, we end up ganging up on people in there. Which is what you're going to do. It's not all the time, and I completely agree with your sentiment there, but I promise you that I do not jump into solo lobbies and squad up. That would just be like the most ruthless and terrible thing to do, and plus you'd probably even get banned from Rec Royale if you do that, because I don't like people doing that. But yes, they have squad lobbies, they have solo lobbies, they have teleportation lobbies, they have walking lobbies, and then they have tons and tons of custom lobbies and custom games and custom matches and all different things, and they just added gizmos in there too, so you can actually build your own like virtual contraptions. People have made race cars. I've seen people make little like grabby guns. I've seen people make their own worlds. I mean, it's nuts what you can create in Rec Room at this moment, right now, absolutely for free. Morgan Grimm Show, another Rec Room question. We get a lot of Rec Room questions, but I play a lot of Rec Room, so it's okay. I love it, you guys. It wants to know how we stream it in third person. Now, when I stream in third person, it means I'm playing on a PC, and that's just for the stream because I think it gets a little more like of a comfortable, what we're used to, less jarring camera all over the place, first person perspective, but I could be wrong, you guys. Let me know if you'd prefer first person, but that's it. We're just on the PC. Now, they're going to add that streaming option eventually to PlayStation VR. We're just not quite there yet. And when that happens, you guys, you'll be the first to know. I mean, honestly, anybody who checks the Rec Room feed or is in their Discord will be the first to know, but you will also be the first to know. KSNOZ says, what is he taking? I assume he's talking about me and my attitude and my outlook on life and how we treat this channel. And KSNZ, let me tell you that Frankie don't take no nothing. I don't drink. I don't do a single thing. And I think he should probably stay the same way. I mean, life is way more fun when he stays sober. You would be surprised. Now, I understand it if you get awkward in social situations. But, I mean, come on. End of the day, who cares what people have to say about you? Because the only one that's going to judge you is you judging yourself at the end of the day. And as long as you think you're a pretty swell fella or lady, you're golden in my book. Now, prove me wrong, and we may have another discussion, but as it stands, you can do what you want in this world. Just don't hurt anybody, please. Blowfire Gamer says, hey, Frankie, what do you think is the best PSVR game for people just getting into VR? One of my favorite titles I can recommend you, sir, is I Expect You to Die. Now, it's not jarring. It's not uncomfortable. It's a super fun puzzle game, and it is great. Now, there's also a new game that just came out the other day, which we'll have a review up soon, called Esper, which is in a similar vein, and it is so much fun. I love puzzle games like that. You could also try Gunjack, which isn't too bad. It's kind of like, it's like you're the one firing the guns on the Millennium Falcon, and you get to just shoot like ships coming at you. It's like VR Galaga. There's a lot of simpler experiences. I would not recommend anything with full locomotion just at the start. Things with more teleportation based, things that you use the DualShock 4, you're going to like that a lot more, and then you're going to feel comfortable with it, and then you're going to want to do all the crazy locomotion stuff, and once you get into that, you're going to be gone. You're going to be like, flat games? Who needs flat games anymore? Michael Augie says, Frankie, what happened to Tutor Top Tuesday? Now, this Tuesday, previously, we did not have a Tutor Top Tuesday because I just got extremely busy. Now I'm off these next 2 weeks. You guys probably might see a whole lot more content coming up in these next 2 weeks, which I hope you don't mind. But Tutor Top Tuesday is coming back this Tuesday. I'm going to try to keep it as often as I can. It might be every other Tuesday. We're going to try to figure it out. Sometimes it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just a lot of the times I work from 9 a.m. in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. afternoon, and then and that's when we do it at 2:30. And if I have to run an errand or if I just want to take a nap, it's hard because then I go right back into work at 4:30 until like midnight, which is when I start like not midnight, probably like 11 o'clock is when I get out and I come home, hang out a little, and then midnight on is when we start working on the channel. So just there's that tiny little block I have in the afternoon. So if we have a miss at 2 to Top Tuesday, it's not because I don't want to, just because I had errands or I just had something to do. Same with every other day. If we ever miss something's supposed to happen in the afternoon, it's just because I probably fell asleep. All right, what you gonna do about it? I'm pretty much here 21 hours, 20 hours a day. I'm pretty much reachable, which is not too bad, I think, for a YouTube personality. If you guys need me, like always, you can reach out to me, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I don't do Instagram. I got an Instagram, but I don't do that thing. Instagram's passe to me. I'm just kidding. Instagram's fine. And that was it. I didn't even realize that was our last question. Thank you guys for coming through. I hope you enjoyed Ask Frank. If you have questions for Frank, just put them in any comment on any video at any time from now until next. This was supposed to be a Saturday video, probably next Saturday, but it could be next Sunday. Just put the hashtag Ask Frank. It makes it much easier for me to see. If you just want to ask a question, you can. I search by question marks as well, but the hashtag Ask Frank, I am sure not to miss it. Now, you beautiful, most amazing audience in the world, I hope I answered some of your questions. I hope that I could help you out here, and as always, if you want to stay up to date on everything PlayStation VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on, nah. Smooches. All right, you guys say hi to Shelly. She likes being in the videos. She only will sit here when I turn the camera on this way, so I know that she wants to be in the videos. All right, I gotta go. What, baby?